The only way to win is by losing more.
Welcome into show 57 of the Pucknologists here on Teal Town, USA. Subscribe to us on SoundCloud. Give us a review on iTunes. Enjoy us on every podcast platform of your choosing. And for those of you who are kind of sliding into our DMs a little upset that we've only run a contest so far for iTunes listeners, don't worry. We'll have something for you soon enough. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Teal Town, USA. I am AJ Strong. With me tonight, Rocket Backhander.
My levels are coming in hot, and I don't care who gets burnt. Rocket Backhander, reporting for duty. What's up, guys?
And just filling in for Hockey Jerk is, I want to say, Base Jerk.
Huh? I'm a jerk?
He knows how to jerk the base. That's all we're saying.
There's only one jerk.
That is true. That is true. What would you like to be called in this episode?
Me, Patrick? I don't care.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go full on Charles. Yes. But
hello.
So this week in Sharks hockey, the boys went 3-2-0 over their last five. Good for 13, 10-5 right now for 35 points. Second in the division, but they have been yo-yoing all over the place. One day it's fourth, one day it's third. Now it's second, sixth in the conference. Played 3 games since we last spoke with you versus Carolina, at Dallas, and at Arizona. Versus Carolina, the Canes come into this one, lost 3 of their last 4, including games in SoCal versus Anaheim and LA. The Sharks lost to Carolina in October 4-3 in the shootout, and you'll remember before this, the coaches for the Sharks played, little musical chairs, and that seemed to work wonders as Thornton and Meyer would each have 3-point nights, good for a 5-1 win. Then they head out for a quick 2-game roadie, starting at Dallas, who only have 3 losses at home this season, and the Sharks will host the Stars in just a couple games, so fun that they get to go right back at it because they're going to want this one. The Sharks strike first from Evander Kane and then immediately give up 3 straight goals. Couture would throw a teaser goal out there and get you excited, but it would end 3-2 Dallas. Boys would then head out the next day to play the Desert Dogs, who come in 3-game winning streak. Aiden Hill, the backup to the backup goalie, the second star of the week for the NHL last week, starts in net. The Sharks would jump on Hill early, get a 3-0 lead, and then, of course, just like what happened in Dallas, give up a bunch of goals, allow the Yotes to get back in and tie before Lukas Radil gets his first career NHL goal. Hurdle would toss in an empty netter for a 5-3 victory for Arizona. And that was the 3 games for the Sharks this last week. So time to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Rocket, we will start with you. Tell us what was good about this week of Sharks hockey.
Man, the thing that's good about this week of Sharks hockey is that it's over. No, I'm kidding. Well, yes, that too. But I'm glad that I think I just killed AJ.
Oh, it was close, man.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen.
Almost went full spit take.
That would have been bad. I'm glad that the Sharks beat the Coyotes. Not that the Coyotes are really terrible this year, but it's not sustainable. It's nice that the Sharks' high points are very high. They don't suck all the time, and that's good.
Yeah, the good for this, I suppose, is that Jerk is not on, and we don't have to be subjected to 2 minutes of bad Max Domi jokes now that he's been traded and everything.
The Sharks couldn't handle him when he was Min Domi. Now he's Max Domi.
Filling in superbly. You're good for Sharks hockey this week, and I don't know that you see all the Sharks games. I think, no, you pretty much just watch every game, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
My good for this week in the Sharks hockey was broadcast in the entire spectrum of colors available to the human eye.
Well, I mean, if you got the right TV. Well, it was broadcasted. We just don't know if everybody receives it that way. We can say
This is true.
this is true.
I'm gonna pull back and not do my full rant about Sharks hockey this week.
That's literally the only reason why we've had you on.
Oh no, you can do half the full rant on the bad, and then the other half of the full rant in the ugly.
Oh,
so yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, did you want to save your rant for the bad and ugly part then?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. So my good. Hey, the Sharks are allowing less goals lately. So good for that. It was only only gave up 1 versus Carolina. Gave up 2 versus Dallas, or gave up 3 versus Dallas. I'm sorry. Gave up 3 versus the Yotes. Yeah, where was I going with this? Maybe it was like the week beforehand. Either way, it doesn't seem like the Sharks are giving up as many. I had a long day yesterday, so pardon me. They are scoring first, though. I will say that. The Sharks are scoring first more often lately, which tends to lead to winning games. And then, of course, you have to give it up for Šimik and Radil for potting their goals and becoming NHLers. And I feel like Šimik could be in it for the long haul. Radil, I don't know. And with that, we get into the bad, and we have to start with Mr. Rant. Go ahead and save some for the ugly, though.
The bad is they were also broadcasting the full spectrum of colors, so everyone had to see what they were leaving out on the ice.
Ooh.
Okay, Rock.
The bad. So when the Sharks decide not to play their quote-unquote game and they don't show up and they have a good day, their bad is just terrible, man. There's no mediocre with this team. It's either A+ or remedial, just juvenile detention center. Not even in the same school district. Like, this team.
For me, it's, this team still has not learned how to hold on to a lead. I don't get this. 2 consecutive games, they let the team come back in like spectacular fashion, giving up 3 straight goals into just ridiculous. And with that, the ugly. I'll start with you, Rock.
The ugly is that I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel with this. I just feel like it's going to be an entire season of ping pong. Are we gonna, are we not gonna, are we gonna, are we not gonna, riding the line and hoping to God some other team collapses 6 weeks before playoffs start. Like, at this point, I don't care how good they do. I don't see them going past the first round. And yeah, I know the other day I said, why talk about playoffs in December? But this is ultimately what I'm getting at. Like, what's the freaking point? I don't see a resolution. I don't see a direction. I don't really see overall improvement in the philosophy of this bloody locker room that's going to lead to a Stanley Cup being hoisted in San Jose.
And now to pontificate on the successes of Peter DeBoer and the signing of Erik Karlsson is one Patrick.
What she said. I'm just, honest to God, I'm going to leave it at that.
Really?
Oh, boom.
Okay.
I mean, if there was a guidance system that could nail something to a target and be spot on perfect, you just did it.
It would be called the Rocket Backhand.
Well, holy hell, guys.
All right, that's it. We'll see you. 57's in the books. We got to know.
Thanks for the show.
Right? That was a fun 10 minutes. So for me, my ugly, Vlasic and Braun just continue to unimpress, uninspire, just both of them not having good years. You would have thought that being reunited after the experiments with Karlsson and Dylan, but it's not.
It didn't reunited it, and it didn't feel so good. Is that what you're saying, AJ?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't feel the way you were hoping. So that's it for the good, the bad, and the ugly. I have a feeling this show is going to be really odd. There's a lot going into that you don't want to know, people. So we move on to our 3 stars of the week, or what we call...
Oh, good for you!
And we will start with your star of the week, Rocket.
My star of the week is going to go to Brendan Dillon, because Brendan Dillon, for some weird reason, because he's a 5'6" defenseman, seems to get paired with somebody who's either really good or really bad, because no matter who it is, Brendan Dillon can elevate their game. And the fact that they've got Erik Karlsson paired with the guy who has a tendency to make his partner better is pretty freaking telling. And I hope to God Brendan Dillon gets paid for it.
Hey, now, Patrick, top that.
What she said.
Oh, come on. Just say it.
No,
Somebody give me a reason.
No, seriously, she's 100% correct, because I'm going to remind you, and I'm sitting here pointing at the screen and I'm pointing at your face, AJ. I'm going to remind you, when that trade was made, people were all up in arms about Brendan Dillon, Jason Demirez, Brendan Dillon, Jason Demirez, Brendan. And I said, you guys, you don't understand what you got in Brendan Dillon. He will become an asset for you.
I wasn't. No. I wasn't adverse. Let me finish.
Tap dance monkey.
I wasn't adverse to the Dillinson. I wasn't adverse to signing Dillon. I was more happy to see Demers be jettisoned. I was never happy with that, with him as a Shark. Then Dillon, I thought, was overpaid at the time when he signed his deal. And I maintain that when he got that money, I was like, ooh, that's an overpayment. That's a reach. And it's something that Doug Wilson doesn't have to do if one of his defensive picks in the draft pans out. So he has to go out and buy it. But since then, he has definitely elevated the game. Rocket has made me a believer. I bought the guy's game-worn jersey, for Christ's sake.
Keep tap dancing, monkey.
F you. I mean, Jesus. I do like his game. Do I wish he'd play a little more physical sometimes? Yeah, but I still think he's become a solid 5'6" guy. He's still getting 4 or 5 money, but Rocket makes a good point. He does elevate the people around him, which that's something that cannot be coached. Wow, that was a long 3 stars. So
good for you.
And I never even did mine. So mine. It's a tie between Shimmick and Sorensen. Both these guys are playing hella physical, throwing the body for not being the biggest guys. These guys are relatively diminutive. I think they're both around 5'11", 5'10" on a good day. So the fact that they're upping the physicality, if you will, I'm enjoying that.
The physiologulence?
Yes, that. Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you're going to have to teach me how to spell that, because that will be the title of this episode. So let's go to Shark Bites. So yeah, now I thought that would be funny because, it's the pizza song, Bites. No? Okay.
I get it. No, I like that. That's really good.
Per Kevin Kurz, because this was something that we did talk about in previous episodes, but it had to be, and this is something that I will expect Patrick to give us a little more background on. Pete DeBoer, not exactly having a great history with his 4th year as a coach. And there was speculation that if the EK65 move did not pan out and the Sharks get bounced in the first round, possibly second, that's not good enough. There was some speculation just after that 5-game stretch that they lost, where Doug Wilson had to fly out to Montreal and there were team meetings. Maybe PDB gets shown the door either during this season or at the end of it. And Kurz saying The Athletic recently learned from multiple sources that DeBoer had signed a contract extension in just this previous offseason, believed to be for either 2 to 3 more seasons. The Sharks don't make such information public, of course, but the coach was reportedly entering the final year of his original 4-year deal that he signed when he joined the Sharks in 2015. Logic dictates that a club would be much less inclined to jettison a coach that is deemed worthy of an extension just a few short months ago. So, Patrick, your take on that? What is that? Does that mean that you don't think they had somebody else a better choice?
The landscape of who's available right now is pretty much akin to what you would see in a Mad Max movie.
Yeah, that is
so
correct.
The odds of firing someone mid-season right now are slim and none unless you have that guy in your AHL system. Is that Roy Sommer?
No, it is not Roy Sommer. No.
And she is 100% correct. They don't have a Sheldon Keefe. They don't have Jeremy Colleton. They don't have the guy in waiting in their AHL system to bring up, so they don't have that back end. So who's left?
Well, who replaced Stevens in LA?
Well, Stevens in LA was sort of so Stevens in LA and McClellan in Edmonton, right? Willie Desjardins was sort of already in the Kings system. I don't know how he did it. He must have promised him some Civil War museum trips or something or like an all expense paid trip through the entire heart of the Civil War to Hitchcock. But Peter Chiarelli got Hitchcock out of Dallas to go back to coaching. So who's left? You're not getting Q. Q's sitting there waiting for Sullivan to get fired in Pittsburgh or to see what the landscape looks like at the end of the season.
So do Sharks just wait until Pittsburgh fires Sullivan to pick him up?
Which might be a possibility.
Okay.
But I don't see Pittsburgh firing Sullivan because they're going to continue to use the injury bug that plagued them with Crosby being out for so many games. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'll just sit there and say, Crosby's been out before. And Terrien survived, and Bilesma survived, and yada, yada, yada. You've got Vigneault and Q and Mikeyo. Q's not coming, so
yeah. And I'm not an AV guy by any stretch.
Oh, he's awful.
Yeah,
but that's another story for another day.
I mean, the highlight for Alain Vigneault is laughing at Kevin Bieksa and Vern Fiddler in making Vern Fiddler's impression of Kevin Bieksa. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll put Alain Vigneault laughing, and you will see it. It is hysterical. The impressions are hysterical, but the fact that AV just could not stop laughing is insane. But yeah, I get what I would love to, and this is just me being silly. I would love to see Drew Remenda come in just because of how much he talks. I mean, he always, he even said in one of our interviews, it's pretty easy from up there. And so it would be nice to see Remenda on the bench actually getting it done. That would be spectacularly funny to me, because I feel like it would go really, really well or really, really bad.
It's frightening to me because that almost feels like one of those rookie of the year type moments where they bring, or Eddie, the Whoopi Goldberg, where they bring someone out of the stands. You get to be the head coach for the remainder of the year. And I love Drew. No.
Exactly. Also, this last week, speaking of Peter DeBoer, they have announced that they made some changes in the coaching responsibilities moving forward. Dave Barr, who was the eye in the sky, comes down from the press box to go behind the bench to work with the forwards and the PK. Steve Spott now handling the defense, but also still doing the power play, as Rob Zettler goes upstairs to be the eye in the sky. Is this simply rearranging deck chairs, Rocket? I mean, if the voices are the same, does it really make a difference? Is this a tacit acknowledgement that something needs to change, or just a change was needed? Because the quote that we kept hearing is, well, sometimes it's nice to get some new voices. And it's like, these are the same voices.
Sure. Yeah. But they're in different spots. I believe I've talked before about failing upward and how that people need to be traded around or moved out of their job, but you can't demote them and you can't outright fire them. So you have to shuffle them around, and that's where they're at. This is a middle management issue to try to resolve some problems in the machine before they have to take the next step, which is a staff meeting with HR or some crap like that.
Patrick, what do you think about the rearranging of the deck chairs?
Third in the Southeast, fifth in the Southeast, fifth in the Southeast, fired. Fourth in the Atlantic, fifth in the Atlantic, sixth in the Atlantic, fired. Third in the Pacific, third in the Pacific, third in the Pacific. That's Peter DeBoer's coaching history. So you tell me, the deck chairs being rearranged on the Titanic? Yep.
If this season does not shit, now granted, we're only 31, 32 games in. If things don't, kind of solidify, become more consistent through, say, All-Star break. Let's see. Game 41 is literally the end of this year. We hit the halfway point on New Year's Eve. Let's see where we're at after 41. And if there's, there is opportunity. There is some huge games coming up at the end of this season, or I'm sorry, at the end of this year.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah. But no, there's a stretch at the end of this year that it's 5 straight games versus Pacific Division opponents: LA, Arizona, Anaheim, Edmonton, and Calgary. That to me is going to be a key stretch. If they don't have a winning record over that stretch, and if they're not, playing well coming into that, who knows? But then again, like Kerr said, they've given them an extension, and why would you give somebody an extension just to fire them or to get rid of them? But then again, if we want to ask that question, I guess we would probably ask Devin Setaguchi. Be here all week. Okay, so so let's get into what is going around the rest of the league.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
And we will.
Okay.
Couple things here. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Seattle is getting a team. Arizona will move to the Central, as we all thought was the most obvious. It's funny that I've seen some speculation like, well, you could potentially move Edmonton because if you draw a line, it's like, come on, no one's going to break up the 3 Western Canadian teams. That's just silly. Arizona makes the most sense. You're not going to move Vegas out when they literally just got here. And not to mention Arizona, there's been talk about them moving to Houston, Kansas. I mean, they're not doing well in Arizona. Getting back to Seattle, no logo, no name, no colors announced as of now, although red and black seems to be leading the speculation, which is odd since it seems like everything in the Pacific Northwest is blue and green. And because, 6 teams in red and black just aren't enough so far, so let's add another one. But let's get into our master of disaster when it comes to all things Pacific Northwest. Patrick, how do you think this all shakes out?
The sound you can't hear is me banging my head against my desk right now.
And why is that?
Well, they've done a very good job of answering a few of the questions I've had about this entire thing since it started, which is how many new sheets are coming to the area? And what are they planning on doing about the youth hockey?
3 new sheets, right?
3 new sheets, but I'm going to put a huge asterisk on that sucker because where the location of those 3 sheets are is ungodly. It is unbelievably a pain in the ass to get to. It's
really?
Not in Seattle, and it's not in it's not in any sort of the major outlying suburban areas. It's in a place called Northgate, which is further north than the University of Washington, which is further north than the downtown Seattle area. It's sort of a pass-through place that people drive to if they live up in sort of the north end of the Puget Sound region.
That's the name Northgate, but okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's funny, AJ. It literally is a gate. You drive through it. You drive through it to get somewhere else. And most people do not pull off there to do anything. There used to be a great mall there. It's kind of okay now. But, oh my God, it's at least a 20 to 30 minute drive outside of the city. And that is half the population is now split because it's just on the other side of the lake where the other half of the population lives.
Well, where do you believe the Seattle NHL team's practice facility will be?
Well, that's it. That's the practice facility. That's the other problem.
Oh, yeah.
That's their offices and practice facility is in Northgate. And I'm trying to think of how to equate this to you guys.
Well, no, I mean, obviously, it's the comparison is a sketch off, if you will. It's a wee bit off. For the longest time, on the football side of things, the 49ers played in South San Francisco, but their whole facility was about 40 miles south of 101 in Santa Clara. Now, of course, they literally play right next door to their practice facility. Again, that's a case of you're talking, first off, a much shorter season in football, and they only play once a week.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of looking for, is that proximity, and that's about what we're dealing with. I mean, it's distance-wise, it's probably not as bad from Candlestick to the Santa Clara facility, but logistically, it's just, come on.
Is the area that it's going into, is it, is that like, I don't want to call any certain areas out, but is it considered a moneyed enclave, or is it, in a destitute part of town? I mean,
it's definitely not destitute. It's been a bit of a resurgence because it's become unbelievable. Well, just the economy. I mean, just basically pick up Silicon Valley's economy and put it up here, right? Yeah. And San Jose downtown is Seattle downtown. Now build your rings around about the pricing of houses and all that kind of crap, and then add the northern pressure coming down from the Boeing that's been here for bejesus long. So it's definitely not a destitute area. It's not like they're trying to gentrify anything or build anything up. It's an area that kind of fell a little bit because the prices got out of whack, and now it's starting to come back up because the prices in downtown or the people that are moving in, it's become so ridiculous they've actually started building more apartments and sort of maximum density residential type stuff up there.
Yeah, which always cracks me up. That's exactly what's happening in the Bay Area, which I don't understand. And before we go down the rabbit hole, it's just I don't understand the idea of building more company space and commercial space, building more homes, but roads and parking space, that's all going to stay the same. But we want to bring in all these more people.
Oh, you guys don't even understand.
Oh, I think I do.
Oh my God. Nashville. Okay. Like imagine having half the freeways that the Bay Area has. And then once you get off on the surface roads, it just spills you into neighborhoods. There are no main thoroughfares that go through town.
Oh, hi. Welcome to the Northgate area.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Once you get off I-5, it is completely maximum 2-lane divided sort of surface streets.
Yep.
Maximum. That's a main drag. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
everything else is a two-way street.
That is the one thing that I've never understood when I visited other areas. It's like, do y'all not believe in expressways? They work.
They don't here. Them. They freaking don't.
On the times that I've had to travel around Los Angeles, I'm like, do you understand how much easier it would be to get around here if you guys like put in a couple of expressways? It's all just, heavy lighted streets and freeways. That's it. It's like you guys could add some junctions and some smaller freeways like 87 or so. But anyway, I knew we were going to go down to a rabbit hole, but Seattle's getting a team. Arizona will be moving. Which way are you leaning towards on names? How do you think this should go?
How do I think? How do I want it?
So how do you want and how do you think?
The head, the heart, and the mind, right?
Yeah.
Right. So to speak. How do I want it to go? I want it to be the Metropolitans. I want to raise that banner, Game 1, 1917 Stanley Cup champions, just to taunt other teams in the league. Just have a big 30-minute banner raising ceremony, opening freaking game of this franchise.
That would be great.
Just to taunt other teams.
There is a little I've noticed for fans of Pacific Northwest teams, with the exception of the Mariners, but the Canucks, the Seahawks, there has been a decent amount of entitlement over the last decade, and that would be a troll of all trolls. So I kind of support that. That's what you want. What do you think it's going to be? And I'm with you. I would like that, but of course you'd have to rename one of the NHL divisions. But anyway,
well, there's more logistically to it than that. Apparently, some 26-year-old kid owns the trademark to the name the Seattle Metropolitans in the United States. So, so we got a squatter. So we got a squatter out there, right? Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. I know it's not going to be the Kraken or the Sasquatch. It's not going to happen. My money right now would probably be on the Totems, which was the it was the failed attempt to get an NHL team here back in the 76 season.
Rock, what would you like to see, and what do you think it will be?
I would like to see them be this Seattle Baristas and have all the player names misspelled on the jerseys. Unfortunately, NHL frowns deeply upon fun. So I think that they'll probably be called the Seattle Portland Cement, and they'll skate like it.
Okay.
We want nothing to do with anything Portland. You take that back.
All right. Damn.
Damn dirty mouth.
Man, I don't know. I think it would be like the like the Seattle Rain.
See, that's our WNBA team.
Okay.
Multiple championship winning WNBA.
Because I know that Spokane has is it Spokane or is it no, there's somewhere around there. There's Jet City Roller Girls and there's like Rainy City Roller Girls too. So there's a lot of like reference to the weather and also to Boeing in that area. So
Yes.
maybe it'll be something like the Rainbirds.
I'm going to go with similar to what Patrick said. I would like to see Metropolitans, the Seattle Mets, whatever you want to call it. I would enjoy seeing that. I think it could very well be the Totems. I don't like that idea. I'd like to see something else. But for Seattle, like all the good names seem to kind of be taken. Obviously, the Seattle Rain would be a good one. What's the WNBA team there?
Well, we've got the Rain, the Storm, the Sounders.
That's the Storm. That was the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty obvious one. The Seattle weather system just not gonna,
Seattle seasonal depression.
See, it's just doesn't quite work. So, it could very well be Totems in some of the mock-ups you've seen online and whatnot. They're cute. I'm kind of hoping they go a different way with it and do something cool. If history is any indicator, it's not going to be great because look at what happened in Vegas. The Golden Knights, give me a break. If it just would have been the Vegas Knights, everybody would have been fine with it. Same logo.
It needed to be the Jokers because twice a year you get the Jokers and the Penguins.
Yep. Or Jokers versus Kings, especially, or if they're called, if they would have been called the Vegas Aces. That's also a flying reference like the Knights, but also, I mean, it's such an Aces versus Kings. I mean, that's just, come on. That was a spectacular screw up. Anywho, we shall move on.
I want them to be called the Seattle Sonics and just flip off the NBA.
Oh, that would be great. No, I would be totally, and to say, no, we're not the Supersonics. We're just the Sonics.
Oh,
and
man.
The other thing for Around the Horn, I know we're starting to roll a little long here. Ryan Reaves, if you were unaware, decimated the Capitals' Tom Wilson earlier this week. And there's a photo now, and this might be for some people saying karma coming around. Tom Wilson known for laying out some hits, but Tom Wilson never autographed a photo autographed a photo that was taken immediately after they hit, whereas Ryan Reaves signed a photo.
Excuse me, AJ. Excuse me. Your lawyer is on line 4. He'd like to speak with you. He'd like to remind you that you would have to say allegedly Tom Wilson has never signed a photo of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are correct.
Rephrase that and try again.
Facts matter. But either way, Ryan Reaves signs a photo of Tom Wilson splayed out after the hit. The internet lost their mind, as they tend to do. Is it that ridiculous to sign this? I mean, at least it got the NHL some press, Rocket.
Yeah, no, I think that Ryan Reaves is, I've heard other players say this before, so I think that it probably holds a lot of water for him too. It's easier for him. It motivates him as a player if people don't like him.
To be the heel.
Yeah. So knowing that and knowing that's in his persona, what else would be like the ultimate expression of look how much of a heel I am, then I'm going to sign these pictures of me knocking this guy out. So I think that it was a calculated PR move to but to like further solidify his image as quote unquote the bad guy in the NHL. I mean, if there needs to be a villain, then I commend him for taking on the role because it's a tough one and he's a bum.
Hey, there are some guys who relish that role. Trying to Patrick, I mean, jump in here. There's guys like Theo Fleury who seem to play better and better the more they got booed. Then again, though, there were guys like Eddie Belfour who would just absolutely go into the crapper once their name was started to be chanted.
Oh God, Sean Avery, Esa Tikkanen,
yep,
Joey Coast,
Brad Marchand.
Exactly, Brad Marchand,
no,
freaking
Sean
Kachuk.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Right? I mean, all the way back to their dad. Just pick one.
Ty Domi?
Oh, yeah. Pick a Domi.
Yeah. It's funny that, there are some guys who just wallow in that. They love it. That just makes them want to throw a bigger hit. I mean, would you say Jody Shelley maybe was like that?
Shells was kind of like Shells. Anybody that ends up in that role, and I'm not going to say they strive to be that player, because you got to remember most of those guys were, they were the top of the pile of whatever youth system they were in. Some of these guys could score 70, 80 goals a season at certain levels, but when you get up and up and up, you sort of start finding yourself being pushed down the dog pile, so to speak, and they end up having to fill into these roles. And some of them end up kind of living that lifestyle. Chris Nyland and some of those old guys just, they'd like go out there intentionally to fuel off that hatred from the crowd.
That's some old school high. Sometimes I miss some of that type of stuff where it's been quite some time that I can remember a player coming into the tank and just being incessantly booed whenever he touched the puck. And you can say somebody like Brian Campbell, but Brian Campbell was incessantly booed, as was Eddie Belfour, for not re-signing with the team, that he spurned the Sharks. It wasn't because he laid hits. It wasn't like Chris Pronger. Those were guys that they would just get unceremoniously booed, and you could tell kind of dug it.
Oh, yeah.
So as a Sharks fan base, we essentially just boo ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Okay.
But
and those who shunned you too.
All right, this explains a lot about San Jose and the culture. It explains a lot.
So either way, it's just funny that it's pretty ridiculous that everybody lost their mind over Ryan Reaves signing this photo. I thought it was funny. He called evidently the company in Vegas or whatever the company was, and after being told that's in really bad taste, and he had all the photos that he signed, I guess, taken down and destroyed so they couldn't be sold. At the very least, I think it would have been a better idea to sell them all and just have all the money donated to like CTE or something to support players that have gotten destroyed.
and you know what, AJ? Sorry, Rocket. That's the crux of the matter, AJ, is Wilson's injury as a result of that hit. If it would have been a clean hit and Wilson got up and walked away, or not been put on the IR or anything with a concussion, this is a non-story.
Yep. So we're running along as we tend to do. So let's preview the next games coming up for the Sharks on their schedule. Versus New Jersey, versus Dallas at the Blackhawks. We start with New Jersey. Oh my God. Bottom of the Metro, 2 regulation wins in their last 10, only 3 road win totals. And actually, if memory serves, as we're recording this, they're actually playing in SoCal tonight. Is that correct?
Yes, and they're losing.
By like a significant margin or
a goal?
A goal. Okay.
Wait. Are we talking New Jersey and Anaheim?
Yes.
Okay. The only reason why this game is 5-4 right now is because the New Jersey Devils scored on their own goal.
Are you serious tonight?
Yeah.
I was trying to avoid that conversation.
It was sad to watch.
I'm seeing on the site there's only a minute and a half left. Devils have an empty net. Ducks are up 5-4. New Jersey could be coming into this with it being even worse than what I just said. So by the time we finish the rest of these, we'll revisit that. Also playing tonight versus the Golden Knights as we record this, but coming back into town, Dallas, who the Sharks just lost to, but now this game will be at the Tank, and the Stars do have a losing record on the road, and hopefully the Sharks will take into that game the memory of just coughing up that loss to Dallas. Then at the Blackhawks, first meeting of the season, begins another 2-game road trip for San Jose. These are the weird scheduling quirks this year. Hawks are at the bottom of the Central, 2-8 over their last 10, and on a 6-game losing streak. This is probably a trap game, as Blackhawks games tend to go. So with that, you've got two teams over the next three that are at the bottom of their division rocket. If the Sharks don't win both of those, I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know. Look, when this team is good, they're good. And when they're bad, oh my God.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the Devils just tied it.
Yeah, that was a beautiful push. That was the way to play some stick-to-itiveness hockey, boys. Good job. Nice way to watch Gibson collapse there. Also, speaking of Arizona, which we're not, but whatever. The
where did that come from?
I wanted to let you know that the goaltender Antti Ranta is out for the rest of the year because he had to have surgery for a lower body injury.
Now it's the rest of the year. Okay. Earlier I had seen it was just like week to week, but okay. Well, Aiden Hill, continue to impress unless you're playing the Sharks. Over this next three, Patrick, how are you seeing this shake out? Do you think this is kind of a nice, this should be a somewhat easy week for San Jose? No week is easy for San Jose.
Chicago is the only team in the league that has not gotten to double digits in wins.
Hold on. I don't have it in front of me. Are they at 9?
They are at 9.
Okay. I guarantee you, if they come into SAP at 9, they will at
win.
10.
Correct.
Yeah, it'll be 10.
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. This game's actually in Chicago. So, yeah, if they come in at 9, they will leave with 10.
Wow.
Correct.
Wow.
They are a minus 31 in the goal differential. So, yeah.
So if they start their backup goaltender, we're definitely not winning that game.
So that is your trap game. That's when the Sharks are going to play down to their competition and then go, no, we're not good enough. We need to play below our competition. Because the only way exactly, the only way to win is by losing more.
And the thing about this game, though, is the Sharks have some time. They play Dallas on Thursday, but then they can leave on Friday if they want. Nice, easy flight. They don't have to leave immediately following the game. They can have a nice, easy flight on Friday. Have Saturday to walk around shirtless, as Jumbo and Burns like to do. Well, Jumbo likes to do. And then play Sunday evening in Chicago. What I'm saying is that it's not like they're not real time compressed, so they should have a little time to breathe for this one. Whereas there's not a back-to-back situation in here, so who knows if we'll see Dell on both of those games. But
so you're pretty much guaranteeing that as they sit there and eat their deep dish pizza and slathered hot dogs and walk around. Nobody walks around shirtless in Chicago this time.
Yeah, I know. But my point being is that if in fact the Sharks pull a loss out of this one, which we've seen odder things, we saw an own goal tonight. So my point being is that you can't use the travel as an excuse. You can't sit there and go, well, we're on the second end of back-to-backs on the road, and you can't say, well, we just flew in yesterday. I mean, you have all the time in the world to prepare for this. And you're facing a team that is just the Blackhawks aren't like the worst team in the NHL right now, are they?
They are. Oh, yeah, they're dead last. They're 31st.
Oh my God, who was just 31st? Who am I thinking of? Well, hold on, is Vancouver like close to overtaking them for that? Wow, that's surprising. Wow.
Nope.
Well, the price you pay for winning 3 cups in 6 seasons,
or the price you pay for winning 2 cups, because Los Angeles is just above them.
Oh.
As it stands today, your bottom 3: Chicago, Los Angeles, St. Louis.
Parity.
And well, to me though, the biggest shock out of that, a lot of people thought that Chicago would not do well. I don't think LA wasn't projected to do this poorly, but they weren't projected. I don't know anybody that projected them to be top 3, top 4. But St. Louis, most people were like, okay, Nashville, Winnipeg, they'll fight for the 1-2, but St. Louis should slot into the 3 slot. Granted, still 30 games in, but holy hell, St. Louis just. And how long has Yo's replacement had? Like 6-7 games? Nothing really's changed?
Nothing's changed at all.
Okay. So with that, Congratulations to Sean Rashkis. I think I might have said that last week, but I can't remember. But he won the prize. It was mailed out earlier this week. Enjoy it, and we'll be doing a contest. I'm going to come up with something, and we'll do something next week. So if you like winning stuff, pay attention, and I'll tell you what next week's prize is going to be: Evander Kane bobblehead. So you have to purchase a special promo pack ticket in order to get that for the game versus New Jersey. As we're recording this, that game happens tomorrow night, but we happen to have one already, and that will be the prize. So if you want to win the Evander Kane bobblehead, tune in next week to get the details. So with that, we will do our normal final thoughts on where the people can find you on the social media, and we turn to you first, Patrick.
Oh, hi. I'm waving. Hi. I'm on the social media at Generation X-Wing. That's
Hello.
it. Hello.
And hello was Patrick's final thought. Rocket, your final thoughts on where the people can find you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rocket Backhander. Here is my final thought. Time is running out, man. If it's not already too late, time is definitely running out for this team. I'm still going to love them, but I'm definitely not going to expect very much of them. And if they have a good game, well, there was a semi-famous, very, very famous cultish famous member of a movie, and she said, if you shoot an arrow and it goes real high, hooray for you. And that's kind of how I'm beginning to feel about this team. I'm just like, whoopity-doo, you did a good job. I lost faith that this team is going to be consistent and give a hard quality 60-minute performance on the ice game after game after game.
So with that, you have proven to me that I need to add to the soundboard the trumpet of the
No. I just I want to not give up on this team, and I want to be like, these guys are great and amazing and they have nothing but progress ahead of them, blah blah blah, and we're gonna go out there and work hard in the dirty areas and kiss against the boards and mush the guy against the curry and then grab the thing and put the stick on the puck and then pop water bottles all night long, top shelf bar down, woo woo woo. You know, like I would love to be that fan who makes videos with my shoes off before every game, but I just don't have that kind of positive vision anymore.
You went full Bill Cosby there for saying, like, you want to take the puck and put it in the.
No, she did not go full Bill Cosby, AJ.
Let it go, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it, dude. Don't do it. I beg of you. Don't do it, man. I know where you're going with it. Don't do it, man.
For the record, I'm not
16.
near either one of you. Your beverages are fine. So yeah, with that, my name is Rocket Backhander, and you can check me out on Twitter, capital R, capital B, little Ackhander 76, or taking photos on Instagram, just crap in Nashville, pictures of my face, stuff that happens at work. I work in a warehouse full of tile now, so it's kind of boring, but it's still kind of weird enough to take pictures. That's Rocket Backhander, one word on the Instagram. I love you too.
I know. AJ_strong on the Twitter, on the Insta, Tealtown USA, Twitter and Insta. Check all that out. Once again, as always, do us a favor, throw us a review on iTunes. I don't care if it's negative. I would appreciate if it's positive, but as long as it's honest, that's my only level of like deciding on how I'm going to judge it. But aside from that, follow us on the podcast platform of your choosing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, SoundCloud, all of those things. My final thought: the truth is out there, people. The truth is out there, and the Sharks need to figure out just where the hell it is and start playing some consistent hockey. Again,
Amen.
Devils playing right now as we speak. Sharks haven't played since yesterday. Nice day off at home. Let's see if they can take care of a bottom feeder tomorrow. I feel like this Jersey game is going to be a real good idea as to where the Sharks are at. If you can't beat a bottom feeder who played the night before on the road coming in, and you've had the day, you got bigger problems, my friends.
I'm just going to say this. A bottom feeder who is 10-17 while you are 15-16.
Just saying. So with that, thanks for tuning in to show 57 of the Pucknologists. We will catch you all next week for 58. I'm hungry.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Shark bites.
Pizza.
Shark
Shark
bites.
bites.